This week I learned apparently 100% of my audience is cybersecurity experts. Hey, what's up, bookworms? Mike back with another weekly update. As if you are watching this when it is debuting, I am actually sitting in the Gulf of Mexico right now, waiting to be docked out on our way to the Caribbean. Because yes, I am on vacation, as it were, and it's a very exciting time, obviously. So no matter when you're watching this, know that I was very excited when I did record this. But guys, we're going to talk about the week that was, the week that will be. We'll begin like usual, talking about what am I reading. Well, I did finish House of Assassins. I don't know if I can ever get this to focus because it's glossy. It's like them old 80s baseball cards. I'm really old talking about baseball cards. I don't think anybody collects baseball cards anymore, do they? I don't know. They probably do. I just have been out of that for a while. We're already off to a roaring start here. But this is book 2 in Saga the Forgotten Warrior by Larry Correia. Guys, they're very good. I still think I prefer Son of the Black Sword more than this one. Like I feel like this one, the last 1/3 was really just awesome. Just awesome stuff. First half kind of took a little bit of meandering. Now, what I want to say is, like, you were developing these characters the whole time, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing. I feel like you're getting to know a little bit more about Jagdish. You're getting to know a little bit more, obviously, about Ashok. And you're getting to know so much more about Thera, and that's something that I really wasn't sure I wanted to know more of in book 1. But now I feel like I've gotten enough about these characters that I'm connected to them. He's doing a great job on his character work, and he's doing a good job of making it never feel boring. I just felt like the first one had a major plot, and this one was a lot of, well, let's just kind of just hang out and see what happens. But again, it's never slow. So he's still keeping that kind of thriller pace, but I do think that the book 1 was more eventful. And I do think that the flashbacks in book 1 were much better than the ones that are in this book. And this one actually kind of goes back and forth. Like in the first book, it would do like 17 years ago, and that whole chapter would be about that. This one, it'll be like, this happened 5 years ago, and it's the character remembering it, and then it'll go back to that flashback, and then they're talking about, and then it goes back to that flashback. So it's a little different bit of a format, and that's fine. I feel like he's not going to hold your hand on those things, but I am very anxious to see where the series does go from here. So I will be continuing probably in July. I think I'll be doing book 3. Not really sure on that yet, but I already did pick up my stuff for June, and this one was not on it. But I am enjoying my time reading Larry Correia for the first time, and it's a good start. It's a really good start, and I'm anxious to see where it does go from here. That's really all I did this week, guys, because if you were around a little bit, you know some things did go a little crazy. About some, what am I going to read? Now, this is really my vacation plans, because next week we will be on vacation, and it's going to be a lot of family stuff, but, I think I will find some time to crack open a book every once in a while on vacation. So I'll be starting The Vanished Birds by Simon Jimenez, which is part of the Quilluminati that BellTube has put together with John over at Talking Story and Dr. Philip Chase and myself. So we'll be talking about Vanished Birds probably when I get back, I would imagine, so I want to get this one done. But, who knows? I might not get it done on the trip. Who knows? You never know how things are going to go on vacation. I mean, you got the kids with you. It's very unpredictable, but that's what I plan to start the first week there. And I think I will also be doing a little bit of One Piece with the Sky Island arc that is the Sky Island Saga that is Jaya and Skypiea arcs. And I think that's 8 volumes. So I'll have plenty to read while I am on the trip, and say something crazy happens and I get through all those. Well, what was next? You should have watched my TBR video, huh? Not really. I think if I probably find a way to get through some of that stuff, if I get through Vanished Birds, what book would I pick up after that? Probably Demon Awakens, R.A. Salvatore's book 1 in Demon Wars, because I'm very excited to get into that. I feel like once you're ready to start a new fantasy world, it's always a little exciting. You always got that thing where you're looking, that meme of the guy looking at the girl over his shoulder while he's holding the other girl's hand. That's me holding Vanished Bird's hands, and I'm kind of looking over at Demon Awakens over there while wearing a One Piece shirt. I guess that's the way that I would draw up the meme. But yeah, that would be the limits of what I could possibly do in the next, week to 8 days or so. That would be the plans while on vacation. So things I'm excited about. Vanished Birds, like I said in that TBR video, I think it might actually end up better if one or all of us do not like the book. I think that would be a more fun conversation. But however it goes, I look forward to speaking with those 3 gentlemen about this book and seeing how I feel about it, because I have not gotten very many votes of confidence that I'm going to like Vanished Birds, but we will find out. It's got a coming of age story. it's got outer space. These are two things I'm crazy about. So we will see, and I'll have my kid with me, so he'll want to talk. I'll probably be tired of talking about Skypiea by the time I get back. He's all about the Skypiea arc of One Piece, and well, gonna have lots to talk about there. How about this week on the channel, guys? Did go ahead and get out our review for You Like It Darker. Didn't quite go as we had planned because obviously had some major drama with the channel. And so really it was just like, okay, while things were working, I was still working off my laptop. Jaime and Fuego from the horror show and I got together and we talked about You Like It Darker. We just kind of just mostly non-spoilerish. We talked about it. It wasn't Into the Multiverse episode, so you do have to kind of talk about some connections and things like that. So I wouldn't call it spoiler free, but it was very, very spoiler light. And I think with this short story collection, you don't have to read any Stephen King prior to really get into this short story collection. So talking You Like It Darker with Jaime was a lot of fun because we got to go through all 12 stories and talk about what worked, what didn't, and I think that both of us were very, very satisfied with the book. To me, it almost felt like a return to form. This is King saying, I heard you guys are sick of Holly, you guys are sick of detective stories. Okay, here's some of that dark shit you guys love so much. And yes, we do. We eat it up because it was really, really good. Read it in like 2.5 days. So all of us, with his short stories, it's really easy to fly through some of them. And, the thing is with his short stories is, they range from, like 8 pages to like 250. So they can kind of be a little out there in some regard. But overall, very, very pleased with how the book turned out. And anytime I can talk with Jaime about Stephen King, that's just like a learning experience for me. It's a ton of fun. That's my brother on another path of the beam, without a doubt. And I'm so grateful he made the time to chat with me on a holiday, no less, to find a time for us to speak about this book and how much we did really enjoy it. That drama I spoke of, in case you were under a rock and you missed it, yes, my channel was hacked. It was hacked and taken over. They started with my email, and apparently they just wanted my YouTube channel, and I've got a whole video of it. I did a video about being hacked, and really it was just kind of to raise awareness. I want to make sure, I feel like a lot of content creators are going to be hit with the similar trap now. So I want to kind of get that experience out there. It was definitely not a look at me video. It was more of a, hey, this is to raise awareness so you guys don't fall in the same trap that I did. Unless I got told that I'm an idiot in that video several times because apparently they're saying things like I clearly don't remember clearly what happened, and it's just like, I don't know why I would make this up. I'm doing this to raise awareness. So yes, the details are all in that video, guys. It happened exactly as I said it did, and it's a very scary situation, and I hope I can help people take more precautions and don't fall into the same stupid trap that I did. But if you do, in that video, I talk about how to get out of it, how to get your channel back, how to get things back in your control, and how to not make the same mistake a second time. Because channels bigger than mine have had this happen. They've got their channel back, and then it got taken over immediately again right after. So might not have to go as extreme as I did, but as far as just getting the channel back in your control, I do talk about it in that video. And yes, very, very scary. And yes, the Bitcoin jokes are very funny. They are funny now. They weren't when it was happening. They're very funny now. But yeah, it was something that I just feel blessed that I was able to get my channel back and stuff in less than 24 hours. They really did get me help on a holiday weekend again, no less. That was very, very impressive that that was able to get done. Because I know their channel's bigger than mine. They lost their channel for weeks, before they were able to get it back. And very, very fortunate that it did turn out this way. Did get out my June reading plans, as I said, aka my vacation reading plans. Now it's just 1 week out of June, obviously. And I have several other things in there that I'm going to be picking up. Had some people surprised a little bit that it was so short. I only had 5 books on there this month. I was trying to get it back down to where it was, because the last couple of months I put like 6 books on there, and I've had to roll one over every single month. It was War for the Rose Throne, and Disquiet Gods has gotten the boot a couple of times here. So obviously last month I didn't expect to pick up Silver Blood Promise, and I did. And so that kind of moves some things down. But making a small TBR like that also gives you the ability to kind of take on something unexpected like I did with Silver Blood Promise, where you can just, hey, I didn't plan to read that book, but I've got room. I can go ahead and get it in. And someone like me who just, yes, will let a schedule kind of rule their life sometimes. It's nice to have that little bit of wiggle room if it is needed. So those are all my reading plans in June. Hope you guys will join me for some of them. Really excited for some people already telling me that they are interested in starting Demon Awakens with me, because that sounds like a lot of fun. Did a talk about nothing. Now, guys, I don't know if you know, If you can tell. I'm sure you can if you've been watching the channel for an extended amount of time. When I would do a live stream, it looked terrible. It was grainy. It was ugly. The lighting was trash. Could never get it figured out. Well, I did get a new laptop, and I've been live streaming from said laptop from this seat, and I think everything looks much improved. And so I go ahead and did a talk about, not only did a live stream behind me, but I also did a talk about nothing with Johan over at a Library of a Viking. This is something we've been trying to get together for months now. It's just our time zones are completely out of whack. Really, the only way it would be able to work, he's like 6+ hours ahead of me. So it was like, okay, by the time I get home from work or whatever, I'm not going to ask this guy to stay up until 1, 3 in the morning or so to talk to me. So he kept saying we're going to do it on the weekends. It's just been hard to get weekends like matched up right. He's young and happening, and he's getting stuff done. And on the weekends, that's just really family time here. So it's just one of those things where it was hard for us to get it worked out. We finally got a date worked out, and we did have that live stream, and it was a lot of fun. And I loved talking to him. Like before it goes, I was like, hey, we're getting ready for this vacation. I've only got an hour. And then we talked for an hour and a half, and that was with me like intentionally cutting it off. I feel like we probably could have talked for 2 or 3 hours easily. So Johan's such a cool guy. He's so awesome. He's so nice. He's so friendly, and he's helpful. Like he's completely transparent with the way that he does some of the things that he does. And even though some of those methods to some people might not be the most fun to hear because they hear the words, the letters A and the letters I put together, and they get a little scary. But I thought he was very transparent about some things, and I thought that was a really, really helpful conversation. I actually learned some stuff, and it was pretty cool. And I'm always willing to learn some things. But getting to talk to other creators that have had some modicum of success on this platform is always fun for me, because I don't think there's any point really where you know everything. I mean, hello, I just got my channel hacked a week ago, so it was really, really fun to talk to someone else with a little bit of experience and some things that maybe I'll try to kind of work into my channel. So how, if he could just teach me how to use Instagram better, I think maybe I would be better at doing this. Just a quick one, did join as a guest over on Philip's channel talking about Bound and the Broken. Philip has finally started that, and he put together a team to discuss The Fall and discuss Blood and Fire. It's book 1 in the Bound and the Broken by Ryan Cahill, a series I've been pushing Philip to read for a while now, because I just know that that's going to be the kind of fantasy that Philip does love. So I'm glad he's finally reading that series, and I'm glad that he was very, very open to inviting me to that, knowing that my schedule was going to be a little tight. I wasn't going to be able to stay for the whole thing. But just the fact that he was able to let me come on just for a while and talk about things was really cool. It was hard for me trying to remember everything. I did read those over a year plus ago, but it's interesting when you go on a group like that. They've only read the first book, and you're like, okay, I'm trying to remember what happened in just book 1. So I felt like all the really batshit stuff in the series starts to happen in book 2, but it also happens in The Fall. So you can see where the lines get a little blurred there. But thank you to Philip for inviting me over there. It was a lot of fun, and I know book 2 is just going to just blow you away. I just know. There's some things I just know, and I know that Philip is going to love the rest of that series. So next week plans, while I am sipping on pina coladas and you guys are going to work, not that I'm bragging, what am I going to have on the channel to entertain you guys until I get back? I got a couple things I did record ahead. Now, a couple of these, nothing fancy. Obviously I'm going to do my wrap up. I'm going to do my book of the month for May. The book of the month was quite a struggle, because I struggle with my own rules sometimes. As you know, I make rules with these things, but I did discuss why I choose the book of the month that I do choose, and also looking at some of the more popular content and some of the less popular content, and how my data analytics is totally screwed due to the channel being hijacked for a little bit. That did one of those things where you just got to be like, okay, you just can't really look at that this month, because it's just going to be really, really screwy, because I did lose like over 2,000 subscribers when that did happen. But some of them come back. Some of them have come back. I'll also be doing my book haul for May, obviously. That's something I wanted to get out while I was gone, because there was some things that I knew I wanted to get out there to let people know that I was thinking about them. It was something that's going to be easy for me to record ahead a little bit, and to say thank you for those beautiful, beautiful things that I do get. And also because I know my P.O. box will be a mess when I get back. No doubt. So I want to make sure that I got everything kind of cleared the decks a little bit for when I get back, and make things a little easier and get that clutter out of the way. But original video I've got planned is, I've had a lot of discussion recently about the adaptation of Shogun, and how I was not pleased with them deciding to do fan fiction second and third season, since it doesn't happen in the book by James Clavell. So I think the one that I thought a lot of people have been like, okay, well, what would you recommend? Say they weren't going to do another thing in the Asian cycle. What would you recommend they do? And I said, I have an idea. Let's talk about some book adaptations that could be the next Shogun. Now, I really am trying to stay away from series in this video. Try to think of like some standalone epics like a Shogun or something like that. Something, maybe some historical epics, maybe just some standalone fantasy, something like that I feel like could make for really good episodic television. The mini-series, as it were, without feeling like, hey, we've got to turn this into a series, So I feel like there are other great options out there. I'm going to kind of talk about those. Now, I know that may seem a little similar, like things that I would like to see adapted, but this, I think, when you're focusing solely on this, could have the same kind of reception that Shogun would, or same kind of audience, I think, that would retain the audience that watch Shogun. These are some ideas that I think that I would roll with. So, not a really, really wild idea for a video, but I do have some takes, I think, of things that would be really great mini-series or limited series if they did go ahead and try to take a chance. That's all I really have, guys. I hope it is enough to keep you held over until I do get back. A couple of TV and movie talk things before I go. If you missed the conversation I had with Johan, I did bring up Dark Matter, the Apple TV series based on the Blake Crouch book. Is that Blake Crouch and I have been talking back and forth. Really, he's interested in knowing what my thoughts are every single week with the show, and that's really awesome, because he is 100% of the writing. It's all him. So I would ask him a couple things. I'd be like, I like how you did this change, and you expanded this bit a little bit. I assume that was your idea. And he's like, yes, everything that's on the show, if you really liked it, I wrote that. If you don't like it, well, unfortunately, I wrote that too. So he's given complete creative control over there, and it's really great to see. So we talked about him coming back on the channel. I'm thinking I might have another edition of Author's Corner. Now, Author's Corner really is usually where I get more than one author to come on talk about, but this one, because it's not really like interview with an author, it's where I'm going to have a topic and talk about one author. And I think with this one, this Author's Corner with Blake Crouch is going to be basically what it's like getting your material adapted. How does an author go through that process? What can they do to, hopefully have creative control like Blake does? And how do you handle any kind of changes? Because not everything translates from the book, but how do you do it to try to please both, audiences, viewing audiences that have never read the book, and also book readers alike. So I think that could be a fun conversation, but the show continues to be awesome. It's halfway through. My wife really, really wants to read the book now because she's so into the show. I'm very pleased with it. I love some of the expanded roles for characters like Layton. He's created the character of Blair. I feel like these have made the series and the world feel a little bigger. And I did ask him about a particular character in the book that you don't really get any kind of final resolution to. I did ask him to say, hey, you're expanding all this stuff. I hope we get an answer to what happens to blank. And he did respond to me, you will absolutely get the answer of what happened to blank. And that's just very, very exciting. That's what makes it fun for the adaptation, because not only is he writing a story for Jason 2, but we're also getting some of these answers that we've always kind of wanted to know about from the book. And when he can expand it on TV, that's just really, really good. So I hope you guys are watching it, because I'm hoping if it's successful enough, they'll also want to do Recursion, because I think Recursion will make very good television too. I did finally finish The Leftovers, guys. Remember I started watching The Leftovers on HBO late last year? I took a break because I'm going to be honest with you guys, it was depressing the hell out of me. It's a very emotional show, and that writing team just put their characters through the ringer, and it is just very, very dour and bleak, and sometimes you can just get very, very down, and it was depressing the hell out of me, so I took a break, but I did kind of run through season 3 here in the last week, and incredible show, guys. It really is. I won't lie and say you get answers to every question that you have. Like, I'm still not sure exactly what was up with Kevin, but the final moments of the last episode, this was like a box of Kleenex kind of drying your eyes episode, because that last scene was just so emotionally powerful, and I never expected to get the one answer that I had the whole series. What happened to everyone. And there's a lot of people who have already jumped in my comments and say, oh, well, that character was lying. That isn't true. I'm choosing to believe that it was true, because I thought it was an amazing explanation. And this character made a point of being like, I don't lie. And when she knew that this other character was lying, she walked away from him. So I don't see why she would turn around and do the same thing that she was accusing the other person of doing, because it wouldn't really make a lot of sense to me. So I'm choosing to believe it because it was a really great explanation. And incredible show, guys. It really is just some of the best acting and character studies I've seen on television. But again, make sure you're in a good place because it is very, very, very emotional. That's really all I got, guys. We are kind of doing a rewatch of Stranger Things with my oldest right now. Out of nowhere, like last week, he just asked, hey, can we watch Stranger Things? Yeah, sure. And we're about halfway through season 2 already. So yeah, he's totally addicted to it. And I told him it's very nice. You don't have to wait 2 years between seasons, but the pace he's running through them, he's going to have to do that long wait for the final season like we are. But it's very cool that he has gotten interested in it because I've watched the first season. Now that we've watched this with him, this is the third time I've watched that first season. This is the first time I've rewatched anything else. So yeah, I'm not looking forward to that Lost Sister episode. But outside of that, I am enjoying the revisit because you do notice a lot of things on a rewatch that you didn't the first time. And it's a really good show, guys. I know that people will have differing opinions on Stranger Things about like, oh, it wasn't any good after this season or whatever. I've liked all the seasons. I like some more than others, obviously. But even the worst season of Stranger Things has been some of the best TV that I've seen. And I do love it. I am really, really happy to be visiting these characters again because I miss this world. And I can't wait to see how the show does end here. Hopefully within the next year or so. But guys, that's my week again. I am on vacation right now, about to have a good time, and I hope you guys have a good time this week. So I'll be looking at your comments and stuff when I get back. This is a internet-free trip. This is really just like a detox and unplugging from everything and just having a good time with family. So I'll read everything when I get back. So don't be scared to drop me a comment down below. I'll try to respond as soon as I can. So drop in the comments, guys. Let me know what you're watching, what you're reading, what you're listening to, what you are playing, and I will talk to you there.